Can you imagine, citizens, such contest, conflict, battle, war, and bloodshed over a difference of religious opinion? Opinion. He who created us different in face and form, did he not create us different in mind? Does he not revel in the diversity of our religious opinion to his great glory, and that we might accomplish together his good works upon this globe? And I ask you this the further, citizens, whenever we consider an allegiance, an alliance of one particular religious opinion over another with the ecclesiastical authority, citizens, how can any legislative body legislate opinion? I stand not to proselytize, I can assure you that. That is not my duty. My duty is to simply represent you directly in your rights and your liberties, to protect and defend you. And that is the duty, the only duty of government, to protect and defend the people from injury by one another. Otherwise, to leave them free to pursue their own industry and to pursue their own improvement. And thereby I share with you my reply to my fellow committeeman. I said, sir, whether the Baptists, the Presbyterians, whether the Methodists, whether the Lutherans, the Duncans, the Swedenborgians, whether the Quakers, the Hebrews, the Catholics, or anyone cares to carry their religious opinion as they choose, cares to worship whenever they choose, wherever they choose, invite anyone as well to worship with them, neither breaks my leg nor picks my pocket. And I look forward to that day in our future, I hope soon to arrive, when we may guarantee a government directly representative of the diversity of the citizenry here in these colonies, a government that will make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof.
Hear, hear.
Lastly, citizens, if you will, it must beguile those gentlemen I referred to earlier who have had the privilege of a formal education to realize that, well, truly, I have not made one new or original statement here today, now have I? No, everything I have said has already been said. We know that, gentlemen. We know it can be found in the elementary books of public right. We know it may be found in the works of Aristotle, in the works of Cicero, in the works of Algernon Sidney, let alone John Locke. What must beguile you is, well, the fact that I have made an effort to shed the lofty sophisms and explain it all in clear and simple terms so that everyone might understand it. Not only that we might comprehend it in our great diversity, but also to place before the world the common sense of the matter entirely, which is simply that the mass of mankind has not been born with saddles on their backs, nor a few booted and spurred, ready to ride it. And therefore, gentlemen, I believe you have heard, there is rumor, they say, out there, that Mr. Jefferson desires to create a universal system of education by which all may have what in his opinion is a natural right to pursue their enlightenment, for the people to be able to improve themselves, for the people to be able to recognize knowledge is power, knowledge is happiness, and that you have heard perhaps Mr. Jefferson desires the system of education to be available not only to the poor as well as the wealthy, but the female as well as the male. And I take pleasure to stand here proudly and pronounce, 'tis not a rumor, it is indeed a fact. Citizens, ignorance is not bliss. An educated citizenry will always be a safe and a well-defended citizenry. For I assure you there are far too many who desire to instruct you that you are incapable of governing yourself. And therefore you must be well supplied in recognition and scholarship to reply to them. That not only are you well capable, but you have the divine right to govern yourselves. to realize, as we do, gentlemen who have had the privilege of an education, that education will always prove the true corrective to the abuse of any authoritative power. I cannot ignore the great amount of opposition to this natural right. It is only because of habits and customs of the many generations. But the earth belongs to the living generation. The dead hold no power over us except that we might bring forth for our benefit the successful legacies for our continued protection, safety, and liberty.